يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Peace be upon everyone watching us. First, I want to congratulate you upon reaching this holy month of Ramadan. To all our dear viewers. Yes, we are back. This is Let the Quran Talk, and with me in studios is Shekat Radia Namakula. Shabira Nasali is my name. Shekat, salam to our dear viewers.
Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Shekat Radia, today we are going to talk about Ramadan because we are in the holy month of Ramadan. And I must say, like, our viewers would like to know, why do we fast?
Okay.
Yes.
Why do we fast?
Yes.
It's simple. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You are aware that we are fasting. We grew up fasting. Our fathers were fasting. And maybe that question is good. And people fear actually to ask.
Some people fast because their mother
they
is
saw
fasting.
They saw other Muslims
Muslims
fasting.
Yes.
The answer is concise. We fast to fulfill the fourth pillar of Islam. We fast to fulfill the fourth pillar of Islam, which means if you don't fast the month of Ramadan, it means you are not fulfilling the 5 pillars of Islam. Viewers, you are aware that Islam has 5 pillars: Shahada, Swala, Zakah, Swawm, and Hajj.
So we fast to fulfill the 4th pillar of Islam. Yes, this brings me to the next question. When do we fast? Do we fast only in Ramadan?
Fasting in general, we can be any time. But fasting is classified into 2. We have optional and obligatory fasting.
Optional and obligatory fasting, yes.
Fasting, you can fast those days which the Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to fast. Like he used to fast the Mondays and Thursdays of any month.
Of any month.
Yes.
Yes.
Then we have the white days of every month, which means 13th, 14th, and 15th day of every lunar month. We fast the day of Arafah. We fast. There are so many options of fasting, and the Prophet ﷺ said that for those who fast the option of fasting, the best style or the best formula is the formula of Prophet Dawood.
What is that formula?
Prophet Dawood used to fast one day and eats the other day. One day,
Okay.
like in a day, in a year, he fasts half of
half of the year.
So optional fasting can go as far as that. Like one can decide to fast today and eat tomorrow. Then when Ramadan comes, he fasts all the days. However, the obligatory fasting is the fasting of the month of Ramadan, and it constitutes the 4th pillar of Islam. When we use the fiqh approach, it will go very far, but I wanted us to focus on the
Quranic approach.
Please.
Yes.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 183, 184, and 185. It talks about the obligatory fasting. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. That is 183. O ye who believed, fasting has been prescribed to you the way it was prescribed to those before you. It is obligatory for you to fast. Kutiba alaykum, which means wajibu alaykum. It is must that you do fast, the way your forefathers were told to do so. 184 أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. That verse is very interesting. Allah tells us that this fasting that he's talking about is a prescribed number of days. That's countable days.
30 days.
30 days. Sometimes it's 29. And he tells us, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا, whoever may be like maybe sick or on journey also, he will count those very days in other months, which means there is a gap there. Under normal circumstances, you are supposed to fast the month of Ramadan, the 30 or 29 days. But in some cases, you may not be fasting. But in case you missed those days of Ramadan, like maybe 10 days went without fasting, you count that very number of days and fast them, compensate them in other months, which means you fasted 20 and left 10. This 10, you count that very 10 and compensate them in other months which are not Ramadan. So which means that it is as if he was telling us that it is a simple thing, a few days. I only want a few days from out of your 365 days, a few countable days. Yeah.
So on that very point, the mode of compensation, if, for example, I didn't fast the 10 days in the holy month of Ramadan, and then I have to compensate the 10 days in the next month, do I have to do it like I fast today and tomorrow, or I do the other Dauda thing, Nabi Dauda, what he used to do, like I fast and I eat?
The one of Nabi Daud works on optional fasting. And the Quran is silent about the mode. That means count it the way you counted it, which means it's preferable you fast it. You fast
the 10 days.
The 10 days, because this is obligatory fasting. If you may not maybe make it, you can count 5, but it should be as soon as possible. You count it the moment that barrier goes away. Please do the fasting and compensate for the lost days.
Yes, that is very good. I want to remind our viewers to please like and send those comments. Let the Quran talk. He's here to answer all your questions, the Quranic approach. So, do we have people, Muslims, I won't say people, do we have Muslims exempted from fasting? Like completely, this person is not supposed.
Okay, people exempted are also mentioned in the Quran. You know, at the beginning of the verse, it says, "Oh, you who believed." What is the following law is for the believers.
For the believers, yes.
So if you are fasting, count yourself to be a believer. If you are not, let this verse alone. Leave it alone.
Yes.
So among the believers, there are people who may, for one reason or the other, may not be able to fast. The Quran mentioned 2 categories.
2 categories,
in that very verse of 184. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر. Whoever may be sick amongst you, the believers.
The sick?
The sick? Ill.
Okay.
Or on journey.
On journey. Before we go to the sick.
Sick first, then or on journey, which means you may miss fasting due to sickness. Maybe you have some sickness.
Which kind of sickness? Because I might be having
what?
Like my leg is hurting. Sight
impairment.
I say I'm ill and I'm exempted from fasting.
Yeah, the sickness, the writers of exegesis say the sickness that will escalate due to fasting.
So when my leg is
like,
broken...
for example, somebody with a sight impairment is taken to be sick. But until the doctors prove that if you don't eat, you'll be more blind.
Yes, yes.
Somebody with a toothache is sick. But until it is proven scientifically that hunger will worsen the pain.
The pain.
So any sickness that will escalate due to what?
To fasting.
To fasting. We also have some sickness which requires frequent medication. Like you use medication 3 times a day, which means you may even not be liking food, but now you have to swallow the drugs.
Yes.
That sickness is affected in one or the other by fasting. Fasting affects it. Then
when we go to the traveler.
The traveler.
Which kind of traveler? I might be
a
going
traveler
to town.
which is not habitual, first of all. We have people whose jobs are travelers.
Yes.
Like drivers, long route drivers. They drive from January to December. That one is not a traveler. That one is on job. You should find, even if you tell him eat now, even other months will find him traveling. So you should find a way of fasting, because he's not a traveler.
That is very good.
Yeah.
You've answered
long route
many
drivers,
questions.
pilots, those who engineers of airplanes, long route drivers, and people whose routine is always on the road.
It is always on the road. They can improvise and get somewhere.
They should improvise and find out fasting. However, we have some travelers who may travel occasionally. You have a journey, but it happened in that month of Ramadan. You are permitted to break the fast. The writers of Islamic jurisprudence gave a lot of information about that. There are some scholars who believe that a travel, as long as you get some hardship in it, maybe others say it because those days means of transport were so poor, and they used to walk
long distances.
But the Quran is, Allah is giving us permission. Aw ala safarin. Al-illa, the idea here is safar. As long as you are traveling. It is up to you to judge whether you will fast or not. You have a permission. It's not an obligation. You are permitted to break the fast, depending on your the way you weigh things. Because now we work maybe we stay 5 kilometers away from the workplace. You are traveling, but this is a habitual thing.
Yes,
you always
travel. You always do it.
So it is all about it's all about using the permission well.
Because some people take advantage of the permission and say that, I'm going
to town
a few kilometers
and I'm on journey
from home,
but
the
question is, aren't you doing it every day so that even in Shawwal you'll be traveling, even in Rajab you'll be traveling? When will you compensate?
Yes.
Yeah. The verse goes on and Allah tells us, وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ. And those who can afford fasting but with hardship. Like we have some people, another category of physical problems. It's a kind of sickness. You can fast well and complete the day, but at the time of breaking the fast, you even collapse. People with severe ulcers, they can fast, they can spend a day without food, but with a lot of hardship. You'll be admitted for 3 days again. Allah talks about them. Fidya, they give a ransom of Tu'am miskin, feeding 1 poor person a day, which means you feed each day 1 poor person, 30 days, 30 poor people.
When you get hardships,
somebody
as a result of fasting,
and
people take it for granted. They say that I'm not going to fast. I don't have any hardship, but I have the money to feed.
No, it's not about the money. It's about physical hardship. Like maybe you may have a very old lady, a very old man who is maybe 85, 90 years. He can fast, but by the end of the day, he will even collapse, he will not even walk. That's the type of people Allah is talking about. Fidya, a ransom, feeding one miskin every day. And at the end of the verse, Allah says, فَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ خَيْرًا فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. If you sacrifice something good, it is better for you. Which means he has told these people to feed one miskin a day, yes, but you can feed 3
or 100.
So the obligatory way of feeding is 1. But فَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ, if you go ahead and feed 2 or 3, فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. It is good for you, the one who is feeding. But at the end of the verse it says, وَأَنْ تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. I wish you can fast. Fasting is better for you if you really knew. No amount of ibadah will be. You will not be paid the same. The one who fasted and the one who fed the poor also. So make it a point that you fast, you maximize the opportunity to fast. If you really knew what the goodness, the good things that are found in fasting.
Yes.
Then this last one is also about the season, because you may say if Allah tells us kutiba alaykum siyam, let us fast any time. But the Quran is very clear. 185 Allah says shahru Ramadan.
In the holy month of Ramadan.
I think that one everybody can interpret it. The month of Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar.
Yes.
Viewers, you are aware we have our own calendar, which is Muharram, Safar, and so on and so forth. So Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. The Islamic calendar is run on a lunar month, not the days. And he was glorifying the month and says, Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, it is in this month that the Quran was revealed. And we are happy to make the Quran talk during the month of Ramadan.
Very well.
And it says, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهَرَ. Shahara, it is ma'rifah, it is definite. Shahara means Ramadan. Whoever is present during that month, which means not dead. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهَرَ. Whoever is present during that month of Ramadan, فَلْيَصُمْهُ. This is now a command. He should fast it. Because we said at the beginning, he's talking to believers. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهَرَ. Whoever is present amongst you, the believers, whoever this man finds him alive, فَلْيَصُمْهُ, he should really fast. And he repeats the other excuse. وَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا. Whoever may be sick أو على سفر or on journey, فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ. He should count those days and compensate them in other months. Then it completes by saying, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Allah wishes you ease and not difficulty. Which means he had the right to tell us fast, whether you were sick, whether you were on journey, fast. But he says Allah wishes you ease but not difficulty. وَلْتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ. Please complete the counting. Complete the counting. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. And glorify Allah for what He guided you with. Complete the counting means either of the two. These ones who ate some days, missed the days, and even those who fasted the complete month. Complete the counting means it should be 29 or 30
days.
It shouldn't be 28 for whatever reason. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. Then say takbir for what He guided you. That is the Salatul Eid now. You remember on Eid we say Allah. After completing the counting we say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamdu. And the verse says, وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Perhaps you'll be among the thankful. So since we have reached the Eid, I think this is the end of the month of Ramadan.
I was enjoying because the month of Ramadan has a lot of good things in it. So this brings us to the end of our program in this very wonderful show, Let the Quran Talk. And I've been with Sheikh Radhana Makula. Your very, very last words in just 2 seconds to the viewers.
Fasting is wonderful. Fasting, I think each one of us is really experiencing. There are so many good things about fasting. And today we just wanted to let the Quran talk. So inshallah, next video, we shall have the benefits of it. Scientific, medical, financial, they have so many good things.
Yes, don't forget to please like, comment, send those comments. We'll be able to answer all your questions. Shabrana Sali is my name. Let's meet again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.